Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. On this episode of Burgundy Bets, we will be going over players with an average draft position that is just too low, players that we will be drafting in the mid to closing rounds to secure a winning fantasy season. Let's get right into it. First up, we have Jonnu Smith, 25 years old, formerly of the Tennessee Titans, currently with the New England Patriots. Jonnu Smith was a third-round pick back in the 2017 draft, and he exploded last year with 8 receiving touchdowns. That's as many as he's had in the first 3 years of his career combined. Coming from a run-first team in Tennessee, now joining the Patriots, a team that seems to be revamping that twin tight end H-back set that they ran in the early 2010s with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez, just, without the killing someone and hiding their body in an industrial park. I did mention the signing of Hunter Henry to the New England Patriots. However, Bill Belichick did not give Jonnu Smith $50 million to be a pass blocker. This team will get creative, and Jonnu Smith's ADP of 130 is great value, high upside in my opinion, especially if the shoulder injuries to Hunter Henry we hear coming out of training camp linger into the regular season. You can grab Jonnu Smith right now in rounds 11 through 13. Next up, we have Corey Davis, 26 years old, New York Jets, with an average draft position of 122. Corey Davis, a 5th overall pick in 2017, signed with the Jets and will be Broadway Zach's #1 target. Now this should be a competitive wide receiver room with Jamison Crowder returning, Keelan Cole coming from free agency, the team using their second-round pick on Elijah Moore and Denzel Mims all competing for playing time. However, Corey Davis's pedigree, size, and talent that caused Tennessee to take him with the 5th overall pick not a few years ago, not to mention the $37 million contract with $27 million of those dollars guaranteed, should ensure Corey Davis is the team's clear #1 receiver. With Corey Davis having an average draft position of the 10th round, I don't see how you can pass up on him here. He's going to be on a team that's going to be behind, throwing later in games. He's going to be leading this team in targets, yards, and receptions. You're going to get a #1 wide receiver of a team in the 10th round. Next up, we have A.J. Green, formerly of the Cincinnati Bengals, currently with the Arizona Cardinals, and an average draft position around 190. A.J. Green, the 4th overall pick in the 2011 draft, was a Pro Bowler in his first 7 straight seasons. Some people want to bring up durability concerns. However, from 2011 to 2017, he's only played in less than 13 games once. After 2017 is where we run into some issues. 2018, he played 9 games. 2019, he was out the entire season. And last year, he was not very productive, fighting through injuries the entire season. Now with a new team in Arizona, let's get that desert air in his lungs, put him opposite DeAndre Hopkins, who's going to have a double team from the defense. Get A.J. Green single coverage against a second or third team's corner. Arizona was top 14 scoring team last year with over 25 points a game. Now a third-year Cliff Kingsbury system with Kyler Murray, this team should continue to grow. If you're taking a flyer on Julio Jones in rounds 4 through 5, I don't know how you can't take one here on A.J. Green. They are in the same draft class, both elite players, and A.J. Green is coming off the board in rounds 15 through 19 with an average ADP of 190. Now, before I get into my absolute favorite late round pick, if you're new to the channel, we talk about everything NFL related, whether that's season-long fantasy, DFS, overs, unders, weekly spreads. If it's NFL related or we can make some money on it, we're going to talk about it. If that seems like your type of thing, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe button, and let's get into Tyrell Williams. Now, my absolute favorite late round player we're going to grab this year is Tyrell Williams, an undrafted free agent in 2015, signed by the Chargers. 2016 had over 1,000 yards and 7 TDs. 2017 and 18 had around 700 yards and 4.5 TDs in each season. 2019 signs with the Raiders, scores a touchdown in each of the team's first 4 games, gets hurt playing through the year with injury, ends up with 6 total touchdowns. 2020 tears his shoulder, out the whole season. Now, Detroit Lions sign. Now, with Tyrell Williams, the limited competition for targets is so noteworthy, as TJ Hawkinson, this team's starting tight end, and Brashad Perriman are the only other 2 established pass catchers on the team. As the rest of the wide receiver room is Quintez Cephus, Detroit's 5th-round pick last year, Amon St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, both rookies, Damon Ratley, Geronimo Allison, You get what I'm saying here. At 6'4", 200 pounds, he's a red zone threat. And now given this opportunity for the first time to be a team's #1 wide receiver and the ability to draft him in the last round or second to last round with an ADP of 200 range, that's why you watch this channel, for information like that. Go grab yourself Tyrell Williams in the last round, second to last round of your draft. He's going to lead the Lions in receptions, targets, and yards. Next up, Curtis Samuels, 25 years old. Curtis Samuel, formerly of the Carolina Panthers, currently with the Washington football team, has an average draft position of 113. Curtis Samuel is a second-round pick in 2017, has seen his yardage, receptions, and targets grow each year in the league. Samuel's an extremely versatile player. Last year, with Christian McCaffrey out nearly the whole season, Carolina asked him to help in the rushing department. He excelled, averaging nearly 5 yards a carry and 200 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns. You go ahead and pair that with his receiving numbers. Curtis Samuel has eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark for the first time in his career. The Washington football team rewarded Samuels with that production and signed him to a $34 million contract to make him the clear-cut #2 wide receiver in Washington behind Terry McLaurin. No longer competing for premium targets with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel will now line up opposite Terry McLaurin, have an elite defense that will give more opportunities to the offense to score, and he's in a great position to smash his average draft position of 113. Go ahead, you're getting Curtis Samuel in rounds 9 through 11. Next up, we have Jamaal Williams, 26 years old, formerly of the Green Bay Packers, currently with the rival Detroit Lions. Jamaal Williams has an average draft position of 126. Now, the only thing really standing in the way of Williams' production here in Detroit is going to be DeAndre Swift. Now, Swift has been missing practice with a groin injury. He did have a groin injury in college at Georgia, and he missed 2 games with a concussion last year. Is DeAndre Swift injury prone? I don't know. It's way too early to tell. What's not too early to tell is the massive difference in average draft position between these two players. Jamaal Williams with an ADP of 126 and DeAndre Swift with an ADP of 30. These players both had a similar yards per carry total and a similar amount of attempts last year. Not to mention Motor City Dan Campbell coming out publicly and saying that he will ride the hot hand in this backfield. In addition to Williams' success out of the backfield, averaging 30 receptions a year as a backup for the last 4 years in Green Bay. I don't know, guys. Seems a lot smarter to me to use that second or third round pick that you would have to use on DeAndre Swift on a different player, come back, grab Jamaal Williams in that 10th through 12th round range where his draft position says he will be taken off the board, and then you have 2 players that could be in a backfield committee or splitting starter reps each week.